Yo, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So we just got done watching Jake Paul dominate Mike Tyson. No surprise there. Let's go ahead and get straight into things because there's a lot of things that need to be said. So first and foremost, I would like to talk about rounds one and rounds two because I feel like those were the two rounds that were the most important for Mike Tyson. With him being the older guy, it's never a good thing to go into the later rounds whenever your opponent is younger and has a lot more stamina and whatnot. I think that Mike Tyson should have been looking to get the knockout within the first couple of rounds, and in my opinion, I feel like he was doing so. He was the fighter that was pushing the fight more. He was the fighter that was definitely looking for the best positions by pressuring. And that's pretty much it. Those were the highlights of Mike Tyson throughout his entire fight. In my opinion, it was just rounds one and rounds two. Let's go ahead and talk about the later rounds because I feel like from rounds three all the ways to rounds eight, I mean, it's could pretty much be said that Jake dominated Mike Tyson from that point forward. I mean, it's really no surprise because there's a lot of people out there that don't really have a great understanding of Mike Tyson's system and how he fights. He is an offensive counter fighter and he's a short offensive counter fighter. So he's looking for very specific angles to get inside to land some combinations, and to have a system like that, you have to be a fighter that is just in tip top shape. You have to have incredible stamina, an incredible gas tank, and incredible explosivity. You have to be an explosive fighter to get in the inside, but you have to get in the inside through very specific angles. And we all know that Mike Tyson likes to slip, get inside, and land some combinations, and that's pretty much the system that he's using in. He fights a very square stance, Mike Tyson, I think the age is getting to him without a doubt. I mean, there's no surprise there. He is close to 60 years old. He is not going to be the physical specimen he was whenever he was 20 and younger, like 25 or whatever. But yeah, it was pretty evident that the way he was fighting wasn't a compliment to his physical attributes whatsoever, but that was to be expected, in my honest opinion. That was 100% to be expected with him being the older guy. Now, for Jake Paul, obviously, he just boxed. He was doing his thing. He was fighting from the outside. He was landing jabs. You know, I think over 50% of the punches that he landed was actually jabs, So, I mean, there is nothing really crazy to be said about Jake Paul other than the fact that, he landed a whole lot of jabs. He was really good at having Mike Tyson at range, while him being pretty much in position to get out of range whenever he wanted to through the jab, and that was very impressive to see, I guess, even though it was against a 60-year-old legendary fighter, he fought a decent fight nonetheless, so we got to give Jake Paul the kudos that he deserves as well because he could have made a mistake. He could have gotten in there. He could have gotten into like an ego fight. And I think if he would have done that, he probably would have lost his fight. I mean, who are we to say that, Mike Tyson wouldn't have knocked out Jake Paul if Jake Paul went in there and fought a dumb fight, but unfortunately, freaking didn't. Jake Paul did what he had to do. Like I said, he fought with a jab. He fought at range. He knew how to fight somebody like Mike Tyson, but that's about it. Going forward, would I like to see Mike Tyson compete against another fighter in the boxing world? Honestly, I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't like to see him fight against someone who is young, who is a fighter who is, I guess, better in his better years, physically, right? I would like to see Mike Tyson fight someone like retired, maybe like the Roy Jones Jr. sort of fight, whenever he's facing a fighter that's already like past his prime, retired, but has a decent, resume nonetheless. I would like to see Mike Tyson fight a fight like that, but against these young guys that are coming to the gym each and every single day, that could, sleep off a headache whenever they're in sparring. No, I would not like to see Mike Tyson fight another fight like that, if I'm just being completely honest. I think Mike Tyson right now has had an amazing career. I think that he is a legend, an icon of the sport of boxing, and I would hate to see him lose again, especially against a fighter that he has no business being inside of the ring with. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's really not a lot to say. I really would have liked to see, Mike Tyson obviously do more, but I mean, it is what it is. The dude is almost 60 freaking years old. So there is really not much to be said for Jake Paul. I mean, the dude said he wants to fight Canelo, which I really doubt. We're never going to see that. I mean, the odds of Jake Paul fighting Canelo are extremely low. Maybe Jake Paul fights Canelo when Canelo's like 50. You know what I'm saying? But for right now, I just don't see it happening. I feel like Jake Paul is probably going to look in the direction to try to get a win back from some of his losses. I think that Tommy Fury, I think that he should get that fight back against Tommy Fury, because Tommy Fury is literally the only guy that has beaten him who is close to his age. You know what I'm saying? So, in my honest opinion, I feel like it's time for Jake Paul to definitely start fighting fighters his own age. I think it's time for him to stop looking for these UFC fighters, for these old retired boxers, that are close to 60. I think it's time for Jake Paul to definitely put his big boy pants on to start fighting fighters that are closer to his age, or if not, try to get that win back against Tommy Fury, because it's not fair. It's not fair for Jake Paul to be fighting these old guys, or these guys that aren't, in their physical prime anymore. Like, that's OD. It's done. Like, we've seen that so many freaking times. It's time for Jake Paul to level up in competition. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Who would you guys like to see Jake Paul fight next? There's a lot of people out there that are going to be looking for that, because obviously Jake Paul is a big money fight. You know, uh, I mean, it is what it is. Who would have thought that in the year of 2024 we could genuinely say that Jake Paul is a money fight? Because I genuinely do think that he is now. Now. But anyways, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, man, it's a pleasure. Peace out and have a good one.